Americans do not want to give up their guns, so I'm going inside a gun show to figure out why.
It's ingrained in our Constitution and should be protected.
But the surge of school shootings is causing a crisis, with more people now dying from gun violence than even car crashes. Many say the solution is simple: just ban guns.
As long as Biden's in office, my business is good.
Biden wants to flat out ban assault weapons, but it's not that simple.
To kill a bad guy with a gun, you need a good guy with a gun.
See, gun supporters say that it is because they have their gun that society is more safe, because they can use it to take out a bad person. I'm at the gun show to try and understand this crisis in America.
But this isn't Texas. This is California.
Yes, even California, the fourth most liberal state, has its share of gun owners and enthusiasts.
What doesn't go more better with guns? Jerky in America, like it's the most American thing you can get.
And people I meet here have all sorts of reasons for their desire to have a gun.
In this country, this is our right to defend ourselves.
If you don't have a gun and you don't protect yourself, I think the crime raise. I'm so sorry, but that's what it is.
In the US, there are more guns than humans. In fact, the gun-to-people ratio is 3 times higher than any other country.
Nowadays, people are crazy. This crime's out of control. People are scared.
Around 1 in 3 American adults reported owning a gun, and the US has 120 guns for every 100 people. Compare that to its neighbors, Canada, which is just 35, and Mexico, which is just 13. And perhaps there is no bigger crisis right now than in schools. Gun deaths among children under 18 rose a whopping 50% in just a few years. Just look at this chart, which shows the spike in school shootings.
You can really see why this is such a crazy debate, because the people who have the guns say, well, listen, school shootings would happen less if more people had guns, while other people are saying this could be solved by just banning guns and making it way, way harder to get guns. Why do we need guns?
Here at the gun show in Orange County, I try to understand why people love having a gun.
We have the right to bear arms and protect ourselves, including tyranny from the government. No one will ever attack us here as long as we have this.
They'll use that as an excuse. See, guns are the problem, but it's not the guns, it's the people. Guns just don't go off by themselves.
These days, it's hard to be in a group, being on the political side that I am on, even though I still wear my stuff everywhere. It doesn't matter to me. But here, I kind of feel like I'm amongst my people.
We support the Second Amendment. There wouldn't be any guns, anybody here at the show without the Second Amendment.
The Second Amendment includes the right to bear arms, which basically means owning weapons mostly for protecting yourself. And see, court decisions have made it tough for Congress to pass laws controlling guns, because they see this right as belonging to individuals for self-defense.
Now, a lot of times people think you can just come to a gun show and just walk away with a gun, but that is not the case. You still need to go through the proper channels, especially in California.
They had to go to a background check. They had to do a 10-day waiting. They had to check everything. So you're not going to walk away.
Even holding a gun show in California does not come without controversy.
They made it so that you cannot actually hold a gun show on California state property, but since they've changed that.
See, a judge ended up blocking that ban on gun shows, meaning they're now back. The gun industry in the US is massive, powerful, and almost untouchable. Even Mexico's government is suing the US, saying that people in the American gun industry are recklessly selling guns with full awareness that those guns are likely to end up in the hands of criminal organizations. Many people in the US can go buy a gun in less than an hour, but the rules vary by state.
To purchase a handgun, rifle, or shotguns under the new California law, you will need a firearm safety certificate, written testing, and certificates issued immediately.
See, the gun industry in the US is a big part of the economy. It's responsible for around $80 billion in total economic activity in 2022, and it's surging with projections to continue to grow at about 5% a year. While the mass shootings crisis is worsening, when you combine the urge to protect with the economic value of this industry, you can sort of see why people are so stubborn to get rid of their guns.
Because defunding the police, crime, people want to protect themselves.
We're selling accessories, we're selling armor, we're selling all kinds of stuff. Ammo boxes, bags, tote bags, backpacks.
The rise in school shootings could be attributed to the pandemic's impact on mental health, job security, and social isolation. And even just the fact that gun sales have surged in recent years might be linked to a feeling of just needing protection. See, after each massive shooting, there tends to be a spike in buying guns. But I have to ask these people that despite their love of guns, questions how they think school shootings can be stopped.
Honestly, I think there should be more armed guards in schools and teachers as well. They should be getting their CCWs so that they're able to protect their students and learn more about firearm safety because they're the first line of defense.
The mass shootings that have gone on, if someone had been legally trained and armed, wouldn't happen.
If we can protect an airport and we can protect the White House, I think we can protect our schools too.
But hold up. That's easier said than done. Placing armed guards in every school across a nation would be insanely expensive. It could cost billions of dollars a year, putting a strain on already stretched school budgets. And even the effectiveness of such measures in preventing school shootings is debatable. See, some argue that it could deter potential attackers, while others believe it might create a false sense of security and even potentially escalate situations.
Educate people. The ones that obtain firearms go through trainings. They go through a lot of great stuff. They go through classes to obtain a firearm.
I'm from Mexico, and in Mexico, when I was 12 years old, they provide us to own a gun and how they work for us. Cartels take over the country. That's what happens. So we want that here? No.
Citizens are having their guns taken away for no good reason. That's a touchy subject. Like the saying goes, we protect our banks, celebrities protect themselves with guns. Why can't our children in our retail stores have the same protection?
Biden's attempt to restrict guns has been hard because not only what's stated in the Constitution, but also because of a very powerful organization, the NRA, the National Rifle Association. This dates back to 1871, and it's the country's most powerful gun rights lobbying group. It's paid more than $10 million in campaign financing to people like Senator Mitt Romney to advocate for their cause. And in 2021, pro-gun lobbying groups outspent gun control groups by 5 times.
I don't think the guns shoot themselves. I think they need somebody to shoot a gun. If you have guns and you own guns, they don't move. They stay where you put them. Simple as that.
These people are not going to give up their right to hold a gun. In 1996, after a massacre in Australia left 35 people dead, something called the National Firearms Agreement was put into place. It would ban the sale of specific firearms, and it would buy guns back from citizens, including more than 700,000 guns that were surrendered and destroyed. It also made it harder to buy guns, put more background checks in place, and started mandatory trainings. And just look at how gun-related death rates separated over the past 30 years when you compare Australia to the US.
It's the bad people that make it worse for everybody else. They try to take our guns away from us. They're unarming the good citizens. And the criminals, they don't care. They're going to get their guns regardless. Nowadays, it's better obtain a firearm, abide by the laws, and fight for your Second Amendment right.
The way things are going right now, they're trying to change every law to people from protecting themselves.
People are going to get guns legally or not, and that's the problem. But, like they say about abortions, well, if you don't want one, don't have one. Well, if you don't want a gun, don't get one.
But let me know in the comments, what needs to be done here? You have a mass shootings that are happening way too often, but then you also have people who are just not gonna give up their guns. So let me know, what is the solution? While you're at it, check out more of my videos and don't forget to follow.